Welcome to European Railway issue number 97, the DVD magazine for the continental enthusiast. In this programme, we travel to Germany for our final part in the mini-series covering the Minden to Wunstorf mainline to the west of Hanover. A trip to Portugal for some loco-hauled action. We have part 2 of our Italian feature, filmed in the north of the country. Mainline action to the northeast of Narbonne in southern France. And finally, the concluding part of our feature looking at the busy Gotthard route to the north of Rotkreuz. We begin in Germany, a few kilometres to the west of Hanover, where the Bremen route splits from the line which heads west to Minden. Regular viewers will know that we have featured this line in previous editions of European Railway, covering different parts of the line seen here highlighted in black. Our previous feature concluded with a visit to Haste. Moving north once more, we find ourselves at the extremely busy junction town of Wunstorf. We chose the location just north of the tracks, indicated here on our map. Our chosen day, the 22nd of June 2018, turned out to be a tad windy, playing havoc with our microphones. Arriving with one of the hourly local trains bound for Minden, we see unit numbers 424004 and 424013, 2 of 40 members of the class allocated to Hanover. Freight traffic here is almost constant. Heading train 51176, the 1328 from Sielzer Yard to Hamburg Maschen, is 185312. 482015 hurries by with containers bound for the Bremen line. (189-802) is next to appear on train 42992 from Józefínov to Antwerpen. (386-008) heads towards Bremerhaven and passes 146574 on the 1218 from Emden to Cottbus intercity service. (101-010) passes 146576. The signal box here dominates the scene, as 101033 heads west, past the box, hauling the 1223 from Berlin to Amsterdam. A surprise visitor this day was 101046, hauling the Orient Express luxury train. A 20-minute stop at the westbound platform line was made with some of the coaches in the station area itself, allowing passengers and crew to detrain. 111059 heads a test train bound for the Minden direction. Passing by in the opposite direction is 189025 on an Osnabrück to Pardubice car parts train. (155-232) passes heading freight train 51253 from Hagen-Vorhalle to Sielze. This loco has since been stored. Dropping down a bit in terms of luxury is 146123, forming the 1520 Hanover to Noordeich-Molle. Finally, having waited at a nearby signal for over an hour, 182521 heads west with Mercedes-Benz Jeeps from Graz to Bremerhaven. Portugal hasn't been featured in European Railway for many years, but recent visits by our cameraman Richard Scott in search of English electric locomotives at work gives an excellent excuse to revisit the country. The Portuguese rail system has been hit hard by economic crisis after economic crisis, with many lines being closed and motive power withdrawn. However, things are on the up, and included in the wider renaissance is the increasing use of Class 1400 diesels, based on the British Rail Class 20. The locos are now regularly working interregional services from Porto to Minho and the Douro Valley, in place of diesel units. 10 locos are currently allocated to the passenger sector, including this one, as well as 14 belonging to Medway Freight and a further 2 working for the infrastructure department. A further 15 examples are stored, many of which are being brought back to use. Of the rest of the fleet, 11 were sold to Argentina, with another 18 sadly scrapped. This is Ernida in the Douro Valley, as 1415 departs for Regua. Another of the locos in use is number 1424, painted in heritage blue livery. This is Porto Campania station, where locos working the Douro Valley services run around their trains. The station at Via Nova de Gaia is located south of the river in Porto, where we see Class 5600 electric number 5606 arriving with a service from Lisbon. Three kilometres to the north and we are once again at Campania, as freight loco 4701 heads south. This is 1415 running around its stock. Richard took the train as far as Paredes, a small commuter town to the east of Porto. A journey back to Porto Capania was behind number 1424. The Class 1400s are popular with British enthusiasts, due in part to their English electric Class 20 pedigree. The news that they are to be used in ever-increasing numbers in the north of the country will be pleasing to many. A freight sector Class 5600 heads north on a loaded cement train. This is 1427 at Lisbon Porto station, working empty stock. A quick trip out to Lisbon's Oriente station sees 5612 departing north, eventually bound for Porto. Back to Lisbon Porto station once again, and number 1427 continues with station shunting duties. In the previous edition of European Railway, we travelled around northern Italy, tracking down steam excursions. In this programme, we continue the chase with 2 steam-operated rail tours, the first of which starts its journey at Monte Belluno, on the southern edge of the Alps to the north of Venice. Our maps here show the various filming positions visited as the train heads north to reach Belluno, before travelling south once more towards Treviso. We begin at Monte Belluno, with a bit of modern motive power, as we await the arrival of the special from Treviso. This loco-hauled service has started from Belluno and will go forward to Padova. Highlight of the day was the appearance of 685196, one of just 2 operational examples in service. 2 more are static exhibits. They are the fastest preserved steam loco in operation with Trenitalia, capable of a top speed of 120 km per hour. 241 were constructed between 1912 and 1927. We follow the train north with our second and third vantage points at and just north of Rhur Valley station, as the line begins to run into the foothills of the Alps.
Eccolo qua, ferma.
73 316 di Trenitalia, proveniente da Vicenza e diretto a Treviso centrale, delle ore 11:08 è in arrivo al binario 1. Attenzione, allontanarsi dalla linea Agata. Ferma in tutte le stazioni effetto su Stralda, su Agata, Belluno, Treviso.
At Feltre, the gathered photographers make their views known to the admiring crowd as the train prepares for a staged departure for those participants travelling on the train. It goes without saying that those wielding a camera have the same characteristics no matter what country you're in. All good fun, really.
Wow. Adesso deve arrivare per questa volta. Mit einer sehr langen Brennweite.
And here we go. Quick, time to get back on board. A fast car enabled this shot at Santa Giustina. Here the train arrives at Belluno, the largest town in this part of Italy. The train would have a break here before continuing south. The loco's main body weighs in at 72 tonnes, with the tender an additional 50 tonnes. Valve gear is provided by the company Varschaerts, who supplied equipment to a great deal of the Italian steam locomotive classes. Length over buffers is 20.5 metres, the loco being built by Breda. Another batch of 30 locomotives with Caprotti valve gear were constructed up to 1928, and were initially designated as Class 686, but were later placed back into the Class 685 designator scheme, thus bringing the fleet level up to 271 examples. The last operational locomotive, number 685222, was withdrawn from regular mainline use in early 1975. The 1341 from Cornegliano arrives formed of an Alstom-built Minuetto DMU. We move on again now as we follow the train east. This is the viaduct in Belluno, not far from the station. Another bridge. This one is at Cadola, as the line crosses the Piave River. The line heads south now, and we will shortly be at our next stop at Santa Croce del Lago, followed by 2 more spots as the train heads for Treviso. We head west now towards Lake Como, where we have our second steam loco in this section, where it undertook a journey from Como to Tirano. Our filming locations are shown on the maps. The first train is a Class 668 diesel unit with a centre trailer car and a sister unit on the rear. Built by Fiat, these rail cars have become the mainstay for many lines over the years, providing a reliable form of traction. Many hundreds were built between 1956 and 1983, with many built for export, particularly to the then Yugoslavia. This one, number 1066, is from a batch built between 1975 and 1976. Class 464 single cab electrics are found under the wires almost everywhere in Italy. This is number 023, built back in 2001, heading a regional service bound for Milan. Sister loco number 006 follows shortly after. Our steam loco for today is number 625-100. This class is a lightweight 260 design, featuring inside cylinders and outside valve gear similar to the more powerful Class 640. The locos date from between 1910 and 1923, with 5 in a serviceable condition. A further 20 are scattered around the country in various states of repair, either mounted on plinths or in various museums. Another fast car move took our cameraman to the bridge just west of Lecco. The structure takes the tracks over the Adda River, which links Lake Como with Lake Garlate. A modern Class ATR 125 diesel unit crosses with a westbound service for Como. The train skirted the eastern side of Lake Como before we caught up with it not far from Sainte Agata. A pair of Class ATR 425 electric units are the first to be seen as they head east bound for Tirano. Our steam special follows shortly after. It's off to southern France now, as we study lineside action not far from Narbonne towards Béziers. The line covered is the main rail route up from Spain, as well as from Toulouse, where it links with the line towards Marseille and up the Rhur Valley towards Lyon. This part of the line is popular with photographers, where the countryside opens out a little, allowing for some good views of the trains. As usual, our maps indicate our various filming positions used. We begin in the north, just west of Béziers, as Z27500 unit number 27866 heads south with a local service from Nîmes bound for Toulouse. Sister units numbers 899 and 864 power east, with the 1535 from Cerbère to Avignon. At the time of our filming, there were two pairs of AVE services between Lyon, Marseille to Madrid and Barcelona, as well as other TGV-operated services using the line. This is set number 21 on the 1424 from Lyon to Barcelona. Heading west, and we get this shot of dual voltage electric number 22322, working the 1218 from Marseille to Bordeaux. This loco has subsequently been withdrawn from traffic. Another loco now withdrawn is freight liveried 26192, seen here heading a service for Toulouse. Unit number Z27607 is the first of this pair, forming the 1421 from Perpignan to Avignon. TGV duplex set number 296 was originally set number 228 before modernisation. It was introduced into traffic on the 15th of June 1998. Here it heads north with a Barcelona to Paris working. Eurocargo Rails 186165 rounds the curve heading south and is passed by BB 7200 electric number 7252. Once the coronavirus restrictions are out the way, we can't wait to get back to this part of the country. The final section in this programme is part 2 of our extended look at the main line between Henschingen and Rotkreuz, part of the busy Gotthard main line running north to south through the country and situated some 30 kilometres to the west of Zurich, amidst gently rolling countryside. The map here shows the portion of line that we have covered in our 2 parts. We finished part 1 of this feature in the previous edition of European Railway at Muri. In this section we cover the line south of here, calling in at Benzenschwil and to a number of spots around Mühlau before continuing on to Zins and finally to Oberuti, not far from the junction at Rotkreuz. We start at Benzenschwil as 185136 heads south with a train of vans from Mannheim to Chiasso. Train 6104 from Chiasso to Zurich Limmatal is seen next with 11353 and 11360 in charge. (189-108) was next to appear with an intermodal from Zeebrugge to Piacenza in Italy. Train 50830 is an internal post train from Cadenazzo to Harkingen, with RE66 electric number 11656 providing the power. (486-504) is in charge of train 41645 from Cologne to Milan. We now move south and to a number of locations around the small town of Mühlau. The first is to the north near a convenient road overbridge offering good views of the line in both directions. The route follows the valley of the river Reyes, which flows north out of Lake Zug, the line itself climbing from the north to a point south of Muri before a gradual descent to the valley floor on the approach to Rotkreuz. First up, we have BLS Class 486 number 509, heading south downgrade hauling train 40341 from Mulzen to Gallarate. (11320) and 11295 follow a few minutes later. Number 11320 is in the short-lived Regio Cargo orange livery with train 48047 from Bettembourg in Luxembourg to Chiasso, carrying steel products. (474-014) follows just a few minutes later with a Hupac intermodal service from Cologne to Gallarate. The line is busy, with almost constant freight action throughout the day, more so from Monday to Saturday. DB Cargo Vectron number 193306 heads train 41027 from Krefeld to Meltzow and passes 11685 on a working from Chiasso to Limmatal. This is the town station, a small affair with 2 platform edges and associated buildings. Heading north up the grade is 186902 on train 43766 from Piacenza to Zeebrugge. (475-413) is a Class 193 Vectron delivered to BLS Cargo on the 10th of October 2017 and is seen heading light engine south. Not all local trains stop here. Here we have 523056 scurrying north on a train from Rotkreuz to Lenzburg. This is the view from the nearby road overbridge, looking down into the valley of the River Neus, which flows from right to left. The city of Zurich lies on the other side of the distant hills. A Class 503 unit heads south, forming a diverted EC 151, the 1103 from Basel to Milan. This is 521020, calling with the 1137 from Olten to Rotkreuz. The station has an hourly service in both directions. There are two more stations on our list as we continue with our journey south. The first is at Zins, where we call into the station on a Sunday lunchtime. The station here is just 4 minutes train ride away from our previous location at Mullau. Class 521 unit number 025 calls with a service for Rotkreuz. (620.065) leads 11349 on this Rotterdam to Piacenza container train. This was followed by a pair of DB Cargo Class 185s, numbers 110 and 101, on a service from Rotterdam to Brescia. Class 560 units in the modern era are fairly rare on this line. This example is seen heading south. Our final station on our journey is at Oberuti, just a few kilometres to the south. The map here shows the main filming positions used in and around the station. We begin with a returning 523047 on a service for Lensburg. The mountain in the central distance is the Rigi, famous for the Rigibahn narrow gauge railway. This is the same location taken 3 years before on the 26th of September 2016, as 185, 139 and 085 head south with a mixed freight from Mannheim to Chiasso. Even earlier, on the 5th of June 2014, we see 11334 leading 11666. 560-265 is the lead unit on this service heading for Rotkreuz. On the 18th of July 2019, a pair of ex-SOB ABDE Class 576 units, currently owned by Mackey's AG, head a loaded ballast working from Getnau Quarry to Affelturn am Albis. The first unit is 576056, with 059 on the rear. (186.907) followed just a few minutes later. 521020 departs the station with a stopper for Rotkreuz. Class 186s were dominating the motive power scene. Here we have 904 and 906 on a service from Zeebrugge to Piacenza. Class 193 Vectron locomotives are now commonplace on freight trains along this line. This example heads north, having just crossed over the river Reuss. The train is number 43014, from Gallerate to Ludwigshafen. This is the view from the southbound platform as 11666 and 11346 head their way north, bound for Basel. Class 474 electric locomotives have recently found favour working domestic freight services within the country, having taken over from a number of Class RE66s which have been stood down. This is 474003 on train 43782 from Gallerate to Antwerpen. Finally, in this section, we see 11240 paired with 620-005. As can be seen, this line is a great one for the casual observer or those keen on video or photographic work, and is well worth a visit once this COVID pandemic is over. Finally, some sad news if you're a Swiss Rail fan. The recent scrapping of RE66 locomotive number 620042 is the first example of the class cut up without sustaining accident damage, and may be the first of many as the fleet become life expired. We filmed it in happier times passing through Owensingen. On this sad note, we would like to thank you for watching this edition of European Railway.